Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe, just maybe, you're merely a background character in the film of your own life? It might sound absurd, I know. But look around you. How many people do you know who wake up every day, follow a repetitive routine, live to meet others' expectations, and never even stop to ask themselves, what do I actually want? Most people live like this. And the worst part? They don't even realize it. Now tell me, what if the issue isn't a lack of talent, or money, or luck, but rather the role you've chosen to accept in your own story? Most people act like extras in their own lives. They look at others and think, if only I had that luck, if only I had that courage, if only I had started earlier. And so they go on, watching, waiting, hoping. What they fail to realize is that no one is going to knock on their door and offer them the lead role. That moment will never come. Because that role isn't given, it's claimed. And that is when everything begins to shift. The moment you truly decide to take control of your life. But let's be clear, this decision is not some clever catchphrase, not a motivational quote on Instagram. This decision demands courage. Courage to look into the mirror and admit, I've been living on autopilot. I've been hiding behind excuses. And that ends now. Let me ask you something serious, do you actually know what you want? Can you describe, in one crystal clear sentence, what you truly want out of life? You'd be surprised how many people choke up at this point. They stutter. They get lost. That's because we were never taught to think about desire. We were taught to think about limitation. From a young age, we were fed lines like, don't dream too big, that's for rich people, get a job that pays, not one you love. And the worst part? We believed them. But listen, here's something that could change everything for you. When I was still young, a man handed me a book and said, if you do exactly what this book tells you, your life will change. I chose to believe him. I chose to try. Do you know why? Because my life was a mess. I was working hard, earning little, and drowning in debt. I was the textbook definition of a background character. Nobody noticed me. Not even myself. But in that moment, when someone told me I could change, I decided to step into the lead role. And it wasn't easy. Finding out what you truly want means stepping off autopilot. It means silencing the noise of the world for a moment and asking yourself, what makes me feel alive? What would I do every day, even if I weren't paid for it? Listen carefully, once you discover that, everything changes. Because now you live with purpose. And purpose is fuel for the soul. It's what turns ordinary people into leaders, into visionaries, into creators. But maybe you're thinking, Bob, I've got kids, bills, responsibilities. I don't have time to dream. I understand. Truly. But do you know what's more dangerous than dreaming big? Living your entire life without knowing what you actually want. Waking up each day to maintain a lifestyle you never really chose. You don't have to quit everything today. You only need to do one thing, decide. Decide what you want. Write it down. Read it. Visualize it. Every day. Repeat to yourself, I am so happy and grateful now that, and complete that sentence with your vision. Don't hold back on the details. Feel it. See it. Live it in your mind. There's a scientific reason behind all of this. Neuroscience studies show that when you repeatedly visualize something with emotion, your brain starts building new neural connections that treat the image as a command. You begin to behave differently. Show up differently. And the universe begins to respond differently. It's like tuning into a new radio frequency. You won't hear a new station while you're stuck on the old one. You have to change the frequency. And everything starts with that decision. So today, right now, I propose an exercise. Grab a piece of paper, or open the Notes app on your phone, and write, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then describe, in as much detail as possible, the life you want to create. It doesn't matter if it seems impossible. Write it anyway. Because it's not about what's real today. It's about what you're going to make real by changing who you are. And when you've finished, keep that paper safe. Read it aloud every day for a week. Feel every single word. If you do this with genuine commitment, something inside you will begin to shift. And there will be no going back. Because the role of background character will no longer fit you. You'll realize that, for the first time in a very long while, you're writing the script of your own life. And believe me, this is only the beginning. People often ask me, Bob, how can I believe in something that hasn't happened yet? And I tell them, you already do it all the time, just with the wrong things. You worry about the future, fear what might go wrong, and imagine negative scenarios in extraordinary detail. And you don't even notice that you're using your imagination against yourself. Because every time you visualize a disaster, a failure, or a problem that hasn't happened yet, you're creating incredibly powerful mental images. And the most dangerous part, you're letting those images sink directly into your subconscious. The subconscious doesn't judge. It doesn't say, this is good, or this is bad. It simply accepts, and then begins to mobilize internal and external forces to make it happen. This isn't magic. It's a universal law. I remember a powerful story that perfectly illustrates this principle. A friend of mine, Phil Goldfine, wanted to win another Oscar. He'd already won one. But now, he wanted two. I told him, Phil, take a photo holding an Oscar in each hand. Even if you have to use Photoshop. Then print it out, look at it every day. Carry it with you. Embed it in your subconscious. And he did. Within 10 minutes, the image was on my phone. Listen to this. Not long after, that imaginary scene became reality. He was standing there, truly, with two Oscars in his hands. What started as a mental image became matter. Because that's how it works. Everything that exists in the physical world began as an image in someone's mind. Do you understand what this means? Want to change your reality? Change the images you carry within. But most people do the opposite. They look in the mirror and see failure. They see guilt, debt, rejection. They visualize their boss firing them, the overdue bill, the business falling apart. And they live it every single day. The result? They create exactly what they most fear. Stanford University has shown that the brain responds the same way to a vividly imagined image as it does to a real experience. In other words, if you can see it clearly, you begin to believe it. And when you believe it, you act as though it's already real. But the key lies in one detail: you have to feel it. You have to imagine with emotion, with presence. An image without emotion is like a seed thrown on asphalt. But when you add feeling, that's when it takes root. Now think with me, what do you see when you close your eyes? Do you see your dream home or the pile of bills? Do you see yourself speaking to crowds or frozen with fear in your room? Do you see your body vibrant and healthy, or tired and sick? These images are shaping what you will live. Every single day. And the wildest part? You have the power to change them. You simply have to decide to do it. And I know what might be going through your mind right now, but Bob, I've tried visualization before and nothing happened. And I say, trying for 2 days, without focus, without feeling, without repetition, is like trying to lift what amounts to about 35,000 pounds in weight at the gym on your first week. The muscle doesn't respond. Not yet. The mind works the same way. It requires consistency. So I'm proposing a commitment, every day. For at least 15 minutes, sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes. And see. See clearly who you want to be. Where you want to be. Who you want to be with. How much you want to earn, for instance, roughly £3,000 a month. What you want to feel. Visualize everything in vivid detail. As if it's already happening. Imagine the texture of the sofa in your new home. The scent of your dream car. The sound of your children laughing on a holiday paid for with your new income. Picture the details. Smile as you do it. Let your body feel it. Every day that you do this, you are reprogramming your mind. And sooner than you think, your physical world will begin to align with what you've imagined. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And you become what you see every day in your mind. As Walt Disney once said, and it's a phrase that has stayed with me ever since I first heard it, if you can dream it, you can do it. But let me add something important: as long as you dream every single day, with clarity, with emotion, and with purpose, you are already on the right path. It's not about closing your eyes and hoping a miracle will happen. It's about understanding how to use your mind, because it truly is the most powerful tool in the universe. When you grasp this, you stop being a victim of chance, and start becoming the architect of your own reality. Everything, absolutely everything in the universe is energy. And energy vibrates. Vibration is movement. This isn't a spiritual theory or a poetic metaphor, it's physics. It's science. And that includes you. You are a field of energy, with thoughts, emotions, and actions that are constantly emitting a specific frequency. And here lies the key: you only attract what is in harmony with the frequency you are giving off. It's not about wanting. It's not about deserving. It's about what you are vibrating. Now let me tell you something that could completely open your mind. When I started to study this principle, I realized that my entire life was out of alignment. I wanted money, but I was constantly thinking about debt. I wanted success, but I felt small. I wanted freedom, but I vibrated guilt. And that's when I understood, you can't attract something that's not on your frequency. It's like trying to tune into classical music but being set on a rock station. No matter how much you shout at the radio, all you'll hear is rock. The same applies to your life. You want peace, but you vibrate anxiety? You'll keep receiving more anxiety. You want abundance, but you vibrate lack? The universe responds with more scarcity, more struggle, more wasted effort. And the most surprising thing? No one ever taught you this. No one ever told you that your vibrational pattern is more powerful than your physical effort. You were taught to work hard, to study, to follow rules. But no one taught you how to shift your inner frequency. And that's where the real key lies. Once, I was reading about the nature of the Earth's energy and I realized something remarkable: you can plant poison and corn side by side, and the soil will accept both. It doesn't judge. It simply responds. It nourishes what you plant. Your subconscious mind does the same. It doesn't decide whether a thought is good or bad, positive or negative. It simply responds to what you feed it with the most repetition and emotion. You might ask, but Bob, how do I know what frequency I'm on? Simple. Look at your life. Your results are the reflection of your dominant frequency. And if you don't like what you see, the answer isn't out there. It's within you. It's in your vibration. I clearly remember the moment I realized I could create my own economy. I was sitting in my little studio in the back garden of my house, and I thought, I can send a message to the whole world from right here. That was only possible because, years earlier, I had shifted my frequency. I started vibrating with creation, with contribution, with impact. And that drew in everything I needed: the right people, the structure, the vision. It felt like magic. But it wasn't magic. It was law. And it's not about being optimistic. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing what you allow to vibrate inside of you. Most people let their vibration be decided by bills, by news, by morning complaints. And when you live that way, you're living on someone else's frequency. That's living as a background character. Now I want you to observe yourself for a moment. Truly. When you wake up, what's the first feeling you have? Gratitude or worry? When you think about money, do you feel confidence or fear? When you talk about the future, does your voice carry excitement or exhaustion? These answers are clear signals of the frequency you are operating on. And if you want to change what you are attracting, you must begin there. You can't live a new life with an old vibration. Daily adjustments are needed. Small, but intentional. So here's my challenge to you: for the next 3 days, observe yourself like a scientist. Write down what you feel, what you think most often, what you say. Then ask yourself, is this frequency aligned with the life I say I want? If the answer is no, change it. Change it consciously. Put on music that raises your energy. Watch something that inspires you. Repeat affirmations. Practice gratitude. Visualize. Meditate. Do whatever it takes, but shift the frequency. Because here's the ultimate truth: the universe doesn't give you what you ask for, it gives you what you truly vibrate. You receive what you radiate. And when you begin to radiate with clarity, consistency, and intention, it becomes impossible for things not to change. Impossible for doors not to open. Because at last, you are aligned with the life you truly want to live. Many people believe they understand how the mind works. They say, "I've read about this. I've watched videos. I know it's important to think positively." And I always respond the same way: if you truly understood, are your results proving it? Because the truth is simple: results don't lie. You can repeat inspiring phrases. You can memorize affirmations. You can even share motivational content on social media. But if your results haven't changed, if your life remains the same year after year, then, I'm sorry, but you haven't truly grasped it yet. Because when you understand at the right level, transformation begins. And that doesn't happen in the intellect. The intellect only analyzes, rationalizes, and organizes. But what actually governs your life is the subconscious mind. It's the subconscious that determines your actions, your reactions, and your automatic decisions. That's why so many intelligent people remain trapped in the same patterns. Because intellectual knowledge doesn't change the paradigm. You could be an expert in finance and still live in debt. You might study leadership and still feel insecure. You may understand everything about entrepreneurship and still never start a single project. Why? Because what you know is not as important as what's programmed within you. And here's something crucial: your paradigms were created without your permission. They were installed when you were a child, through repetition, examples, and the words you heard. Most of them came from people who loved you, but who themselves were trapped in a scarcity mindset. People who used to say things like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "All rich people are dishonest," "Work before play." And now, as an adult, you unconsciously repeat those patterns. You might want to earn more, live better, start a business, invest, travel, grow. But deep inside, there's a voice telling you that you don't deserve it, that it's bound to go wrong, that it's too risky. And that voice is what sabotages you. Quietly. Constantly. Need proof? Think of someone who made a fortune and lost it all. Take Mike Tyson, for instance. One of the greatest boxers in history. He earned over £120 million, which today would be around £150 million, and he lost every bit of it. Why? Because his mind was programmed for self-destruction. He never changed what was inside. And no matter how much he earned, the old paradigm kept pulling him back. Now consider the opposite. Someone who started with nothing, no education, no money, but who changed their inner world before trying to change the outer. That person might have taken longer. They might have faced criticism, doubts, setbacks. But they achieved consistent results. Because the foundation within them was solid. So I ask you, which of these two paths are you following? Are you trying to change your life through effort, willpower, force, or are you starting from the right place, from within yourself? Harvard Business Review published research showing that 95% of human decisions are made unconsciously. That means only 5% of your willpower is truly in control. The rest is automatic programming. So, if you want different results, you must stop fighting your habits. And you must replace them with new beliefs. But beware, this doesn't happen with just one video. Nor with one inspiring quote. It happens through repetition, emotion, and daily intention. That's why I place so much emphasis on visualization, writing down goals, and affirmations. Because these are tools that reprogram the subconscious mind. They are the bricks that build a new paradigm. And do you know the first sign that you're changing? It's when the things that once scared you begin to excite you. When you stop doubting yourself. When you take action without needing validation. When what once felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. But to get there, you need to take a step of faith. Not in the religious sense, but in the practical sense, trusting the seed even before seeing the fruit. Because your external world is only a reflection of your internal world. If you still don't have what you desire, it's not because you're incapable. It's because you're still carrying a distorted image of yourself. And as long as that image doesn't change, neither will your results. So stop looking outside. The results are merely the fruit. What you truly need to change is the root. Once the root changes, everything else changes with it. If there's one thing you should take away from this video, it's this: your life doesn't change when you learn something new, it changes when you transform from within. It doesn't matter how many books you've read, how many courses you've taken, or how many videos you've watched, what really matters is what you've chosen to do with all of it. Because it's the decision to take control of your own story, to become the main character, that shifts the entire direction of the game. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside of you is already in motion. So now, I want to invite you to take one more step forward on this journey. The next video that's appearing on your screen right now will help you expand your awareness even further and take you another step ahead. Watch it, it will make you 1% better than you are at this moment. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you in the next video.